Hey, it's Concord Wind. I'm drinking Bucked Up Miami. They just started selling these at the gas station near where I live, and but I've had them before, so it's nothing like new, but it's still new for this area. Uh, a little update: Thanksgiving went really well. It went really well. Um, Got to spend time with family. Got to eat. Got to play frisbee. Me, my mom, my dad, my sister's boyfriend, like we all played frisbee, and it was really fun. And anyways, I've been missing God like crazy lately. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to do something for God. And holidays are hard because they make you miss God so much because you're not really living for God when you're celebrating a holiday. And they're like enjoyable in the moment, and then afterwards you get that empty feeling and sadness, and you're like, oh, I want God. And you just have to cling to God, and you have to keep searching for him and seeking for him, and you have to keep thinking about him, and you have to keep loving him from your heart, and you have to just hold him close, like, he's your creator. He created you. He's like the most precious mother, the most precious father. I love him so much. I love him more than anything. I love him even more than my family, and I really love my family, but God takes first place in my heart. I gotta go blow my nose. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, God is really just so precious. I really love him so much. I really miss him. That's why I'm making this video, because I want to do something for God, and I don't really know what to talk about. I want to serve God somehow, and making these videos is the only way I know how to serve God, even if I don't exactly know what to talk about. I guess I could talk about God's control over all things. That's what I was doing my devotional about earlier. Man has a hard time understanding the natural laws of the universe. Man has studied the natural laws of the universe for thousands of years, and only in the modern age, like, has mankind started to get a little bit of a grasp of the natural laws of things. You know, but even then, he still doesn't understand the full depth of the natural laws of things, while God dominates and controls the natural laws of things. And he understands the natural laws of the universe, like 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 looking at a machine that he built. He understands every part. He understands the purpose of every part. He knows every detail. God dominates this universe. And the relationship between God and man, God and us, is that God created all things and provides for all living beings, and like mankind just enjoys what God has created, you know? God wants us to be happy, and so he makes sure to provide everything for us from the light. He makes sure the light from the sun isn't too bright, isn't too dim. And he makes sure it goes away for a little while at night and comes back in the morning, and he controls the airflow. He makes sure the air doesn't blow too hard, and he put mountains in places so that the wind would be cut by the mountains and not be as strong when it hit a town on the other side of the mountains, so that people wouldn't be, unable to survive because of how strong the wind was. I mean, and sounds, like if sound is too loud, it can damage the eardrums and cause problems. And he made sure that the sounds that each animal makes, and that the wind makes, and that everything, he made sure it wasn't too loud, so that it wouldn't damage our ears and stuff. And so, like, God was very considerate when he created everything. He put a lot of thought and care into each thing he created to make sure humans would be able to survive and be able to enjoy everything he created. And he just wants humans to be happy. That's ultimately his final goal, is for humans to be happy. And you know the only way we can be happy is if we submit to his dominion and accept his sovereignty over our lives and enjoy everything he's created. I mean, not it doesn't have to be everything, but like just the things that God has put in our lives that he created, and we can enjoy those things, and just give our hearts to God, number one, first and foremost. Just love him and be willing to offer our lives to him, and be willing to give him everything. Be willing to give up what God has given us if that's God's wish. If he starts taking things away from us, then we can accept that, right? Like Job, God gives and God is taken away. Blessed be the name of God. Okay, I gotta blow my nose again. I've been crying a lot in this video. Alright, I'm back. It feels so good to cry and talk about God. I've needed this so bad. I really love him with everything I've got. And I miss him with all my heart. I don't even know how to put into words the affection I feel for God. Like, I feel so much affection for him, so much more than I felt for anybody else. I've never felt affection for a person before like I have for God. Not even my like ex-wives. I didn't feel affection for them as much as I feel for God. Like, I just really want to hug him so tight, and that doesn't sound like much, but it's an overwhelming feeling that's really hard to have, because I know I can't do it. Like, but Almighty God's words talk about, like, God's words say, "Don't you want to hold him close?" And I really do. Those words really resonate with me, because I just want to protect his heart, and I want to show him love, and I want him to feel loved because he hasn't felt love in such a long time. The last time that God truly felt love from humans was about 2,000 years ago when Peter walked the earth, and when Peter was willing to give up everything for God, and he gave his life to God and was crucified upside down. And Peter gave everything he had to God. He gave the very best things of himself to God, and because he loved God with all of his heart, all of his mind, all of his soul, all of his strength. He really loved God so much. And that was the last time God truly felt love from humans. And it was only one human he felt love from, like, I gotta go blow my nose again, sorry. Alright. Man, it's felt good to cry. It really has. And it's felt good to talk about God, but I wanna be like Peter. I wanna give everything I've got to God. I'll tell you, my side, right around in here, my side, like on my lower abdomen, has started hurting, which I suspect is a kidney infection. And I haven't looked into it because I'm scared. So I don't know how serious kidney infections are. I don't know if you can die from it or what, but like I've heard of people being put on dialysis and they don't live long after they've been on dialysis, and like I've heard of stuff like that. So like, it's really scary. But I thought, God could heal me if he wanted to, and if he doesn't, then I can offer my life to him and I can die for him. And if the pain continues, like if it's not a pulled muscle or nerve damage from working out, because I do the abdominal crunch machine, and I did like 200 reps the other day, and it was shortly after that I started having pain. So I think I just overdid the workout and like damaged some nerves right there or something, like, or pulled a muscle or what. I don't know, but it might be a kidney infection, and I have reason that I will not disclose in this video to believe it's a kidney infection because of an untreated UTI. Um, it's really the UTI. The reason why I know that I probably had an untreated UTI for months and months and months. I won't get into the details of how I know I have an untreated UTI, but I'm pretty sure I do. So I probably just need to be on antibiotics, and that'll probably clear up the kidney infection, maybe, hopefully. But if not, then I'm more than willing to die for God. I will give him my life, and I just don't want to complain, and I want to accept this trial. And like I was talking to God last night, and I was like, thank you so much for this trial of my side hurting, and I just want to submit to your will. I just want your will to be done in my life, is what I was telling him. And I was like, I'll die for you. I love you. Like, that's what I was telling God. And, so I'm really thankful for this trial. I really am. Like, because it's given me the opportunity to practice the truth, and I don't have many opportunities to practice the truth because I don't have a lot to do, and God doesn't make very many arrangements for me, but He arranged for me to get this pain in my side, which may be a kidney infection. And so that's a trial. And I've been, and I was telling God last night, I was like, I asked for this because I've been asking for God to make arrangements for me and to give me trials to make me a stronger person and to make me love Him more. And He delivered. He answered my prayer. It took a long time for Him to answer my prayer, but He finally did. And so I'm just like going through this and experiencing it, and like there's people talking outside. Anyways, I'm sorry, I got distracted by the people talking outside. Anyways, um, yeah. So I've just missed God a lot, and I've just wanted to serve Him, and I just want to obey all of His arrangements and experience all of His arrangements. I'm more than prepared. I've been reading, these words and 6 other books for 8 years now, and I've already experienced like so much like crazy stuff, like from schizophrenia to bipolar and all kinds of crazy stuff, like in and out of jail. I've experienced all kinds of crazy stuff, like suicide attempts, everything. And so like I'm very prepared. Like I'm very prepared for trials to come upon me, for God to arrange trials for me. At least I think I am. I mean, God could definitely bring me to my knees, but I just think I'm prepared for the trials that God will bring to me. Like this trial of my side, like I've handled it very well. I've been very submissive and I haven't complained against God. I've accepted His sovereignty over my life and let Him dominate my life. And I give my life over to Him, and if I die for Him, then that's fine. Like I'll be happy to die for Him, like I don't necessarily want to die. I mean, I'm going to go to the doctor and try to get this fixed, but at the same time, if there's nothing the doctors can do or whatever, and it's like if I just have to die, then I'm fine with that. Like I've lived a good life. I'm a very happy person, and I'll die a happy person. Like so I'm totally fine with it. I'm not afraid of death at all because, as a matter of fact, death is in a way like, as much as I don't want to die, death is a little bit exciting because then I'll get to see God, and I love God more than anything. So if I get to see God, that would be the best moment of my life. So like I don't know, it's just kind of, I mean, I don't want to die, you know what I mean, but at the same time I kind of, it's a little exciting in a way because like, I mean, I don't want to be redundant. I already said what I said, but I don't know. And like I said, the holidays and everything really makes me think about God because when I'm spending time with my family, like I'm not thinking about God too much, and it really bothers me. So like after Thanksgiving, like I was really thinking about God because I missed Him because I hadn't really thought about Him while I was spending time with my family, and it made me feel really bad. And that's the bad thing about the holidays is it gets your mind off of God, and because holidays, I don't know if I'm celebrating them wrong, like if I'm giving my heart to holidays or something. Like I thought my heart was given to God, but like I'm still experiencing negative like side effects from holidays. So like I must be doing something wrong. I must be celebrating them wrong, because I shouldn't be experiencing negative side effects from holidays. You know what I mean? Like, because you're only supposed to feel empty after a holiday if you're giving your heart to that holiday, because then it's over, and it's like the thing you gave your heart to is dead for a year until you can celebrate it again. And so it like that's the reason why people feel empty after the holidays, is because they give their heart too much to the holiday. And so when it's over, it's like the death of a loved one or something. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't feel like that's what I was doing, but like apparently I must have been, because I felt that empty feeling, and I just felt like I wanted to cling to God for dear life. Like I just missed God with all my heart, and like, so I don't know. Um, I'll try to do better this Christmas. I'll try to think about God this Christmas so I don't get that empty feeling afterwards. Because I want to give my heart to God, and I want my heart always given to God. I don't want to be a whore and give my heart to all kinds of different things. Like I only want my heart to belong to God, and that's it. Like, so, you know, yeah. All right. Guess I'm gonna finish my drink, and then I might make another video, because I've actually, this has got 300 milligrams. I had a cup of coffee this morning, and then I drank just a little bit of this. I don't even think I've drank half of it. I might have drank half of it. I don't know, but I haven't drank much of it. Probably only like half or something. So once I finish that, I'll probably be feeling very talkative, and I might make another video, or I might call my mom and just talk her ear off. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I think that's it for this video. I think I'm gonna call it here. I've said a lot. I've been able to speak from my heart, and that's what's most important, is being able to speak from the heart. To people who want to hear what's in your heart. Like, um. So yeah, that's it. Um. God bless and goodbye.